Shalom uvracha miYerushalayim. Wow, what a privilege. Yesh li zchut. I have a special privilege being with you live from Yerushalayim to Cape Town. So first of all, shalom uvracha. I see some of the ladies here. Let's see. You can turn on the camera. Hello, Susan and Talia and Yuda. And Yuda is Mazi's husband. Shalom, I know them. מה נשמע? מה קורה? אנחנו ישראלים. Hello, Jessica and Barbara and Janet and Natalie and Nicole and everyone. Meital, hi Meital. Talia and Laura and Hillary. It's amazing to be with you. And Andy and Jackie and Mel and Tammy, Aviva, Heidi, amazing. Batya, Nuri, thank you everyone for being here with us. And I understand it does not represent the amount of women that are really with us. Because Mazik just sent me a video, an amazing video of women getting together live, physically, in order to watch this Zoom from Yerushalayim. So I asked her to send me some videos. It's usually on Zoom, you're just separate. You don't have to get dressed, okay? You can do it without putting on your shoes and parking and, makeup. It's easy, it's Zoom. But no, you want to be together, and that's amazing. And you're sitting there watching me. Wow, incredible. Toda rabba. Thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I think it's the fact you're together, the two words, circle and connection. Circle in Hebrew, ma'agal. Connection in Hebrew, kesher. That's what we need. Jewish women getting together in this amazing circle of strength, of chizuk, and it's all to elevate our souls here in this world, but also le'ilui nishma, to elevate a very special soul. I understand Rabbanit Rachel Rosenbaum, Alea Shalom, the Rebbitzin. I'm sure most of the ladies here knew her, and if you don't, and it's also amazing you came in order to be together in those evenings, and it's just the beginning. Okay, maybe I'll get, we'll really get together there and have more events. I think that's the right timing for Jewish renewal, for doing things together. When I asked Mazi, and I'm not surprised that an Israeli woman is organizing everything here. When I asked her, okay, so who are the ladies? Are they Haredi, modern Orthodox, Frum, traditional, Sephardi, Ashkenazi, young, not so young? She said, really, everyone. Really, we try to represent the community. They even came from Johannesburg, not just Cape Town, so that's really amazing. Thank you very much. Now let's start. You said, and thank you for that, Mazi. You said, by the way, if there are any problems, okay, you can all hear me, right, and see me, and it's all working, right? Otherwise, you'll tell me that there's a problem. I'm an Israeli. I want everything to be, So you said, Mazi, that I connect what's going on. I connect current events. I connect the news items to Jewish tradition. Once it was really the way to define the things I did. It was my challenge to take the parsha, to take the Jewish, holidays, the circle, the Jewish year. For example, now we're in the middle of Shloshet HaShavuot, the 3 weeks, Ben HaMetzarim, between the stairs, the days when we mourn the temple, between the fast of Yud Zayin Be'av, as we approached Tisha B'Av, the day of the destruction of the temple, when we went out from here, from Yerushalayim to exile, and all the problems we have, and all the challenges that we're facing nationally, but also personally. And I'm sure there are ladies there, they have their own destruction, their own churban, their own problems. And it's okay, we're all facing challenges together. It's all part of the same sorrow, okay, the same tears, the same problems. So these are the days to focus on what is lack, not just to see what we have, what we still want to have, want to acquire, want to achieve. Anyway, so in the past, that was you're right. I mean, that was my, my thing, okay, my niche as a journalist, always trying to connect things. I think today it's easy. It goes without saying. It's happening. You don't really need to be so special in order to connect what's going on to the Jewish ancient pulse. I think we are writing new chapters in Jewish history. Sometimes I really feel it's like writing a chapter in the Bible, in the Tanakh. And I want to give you just one example. Yesterday, maybe you can, maybe, I think the chat is active.
For everything.
Shlomi, can you hear me?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's full, huh?
Yeah.
Someone's asked me to move to four friends this game.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it okay, Mazi? Can you hear me? Ladies at the theater, show must go on. Can you hear me? Is it okay? Okay. So yeah. So I started asking, maybe, and I'm sure some of the ladies here, you heard the real news from Israel yesterday. There was a wedding here. There are lots of weddings, but this wedding was extremely special. Why? What happened? What happened was Sapir Cohen and Sasha Trofanov got married. And building this house, for 2 years, we said, bring them home now. Now they're building their home. Sapir and Sasha were both kidnapped October 7th morning, 6:40, 6:50. They were already in Gaza from Kibbutz Nachal Oz. And when it started, they both thought, that it's the end. They both came back. Sasha's father was killed, was murdered, Vitali. Sasha's mother was also kidnapped, Yelena. And Sasha's grandmother, Irena, was also a hostage in Gaza, in Hamas tunnels. Baruch Hashem, they're all back. Yelena and Irena, Sapir, and then, almost 1 year later, Sasha. When they got back, this young couple, Sapir and Sasha, they decided that when something happens to you, I'll say it in Hebrew, Mashe koreli, koreli. I know some of the Israelis, they already understand. Mashe kore, kuf vav reish hey, what happens to me, kore, kuf vav reish aleph, is calling me. It's Hashem's voice. He speaks to me. Mashe koreli, koreli, what happens to me, it's like a wake-up call. Something's happening in this world. And when you come back from Gaza, you want to really uplift, upgrade your life. And the proposal when Sasha asked Sapir to marry him was really exciting. It became part of Israel's news. And now yesterday, Rav Ber Elazar, here in Israel, he was, the Rav leading the chuppah and creating this holiness, this new Beit Ne'eman B'Israel. And when I look at them, I see the Jewish story. They are connected to you. The reason you came now to be together, have Jewish identity, you're facing your struggles there, anti-Semitism, sometimes even terror attacks, but usually I think the main problem is maybe hypocrisy. I'm not an expert, but all I hear, from Israel, people, and unfortunately, there where you live, when you have your, daily life, they can't see sometimes right from wrong, okay? Black and white, true and false. This confusion, this hypocrisy, people can seriously support Hamas instead of supporting the Jewish people. Basically, the fact you came here tonight, the reason, the core, the source, same reason Sasha and Sapir got married yesterday. Seriously, it's connected. It's all connected. In the post-October 7th world, the Jewish world is in a different sphere, different level, different stage. And Sasha told me, I was privileged to interview the couple and Yelena, the mother. They all became, I can't say they became religious. They became Jewish, and for the first time, they feel it's part of their identity. Sasha put on tefillin for the first time in his life. He's 30 plus, never put on tefillin. He said, Nechtafti biglal yahaduti. I'll say it in Hebrew first. Nechtafti biglal yahaduti, velo yadati ma ze liot Yehudi. I was kidnapped because of my Jewish identity. That's the only reason they took me to Gaza. It's not because my name is Sasha or Moti or Mazi or Elina or Malka or Khani. I see the names here, Rebecca, Susan, etc. It's not you. It's not a personal. It's the general, the national name. I was kidnapped because of my Jewish identity, but I knew nothing about it. The day he came back, it was Shabbat. The next day, Sunday, Rav Ber Elazar, chief rabbi of Russia, was there in Sheba Hospital in Israel, putting on tefillin for the first time, celebrating his bar mitzvah, one day after he came back from Hamas tunnels in Gaza. So I would say the natural response was to have this wedding yesterday. So when you tell me that I tried to connect, I don't try to connect. It is connected. Wherever it depends, what do you want to see? Okay, what is the perspective? What's the story you choose? Unfortunately, when you look at the news, when you try to have some information, I know that sometimes what you see from Israel, it does not represent what's really going on. We have problems and elections, and it's always, there are always conflicts, action, something's happening. But there's a famous sentence, and I think it really defines what's going on here on the news. I worked there for years. I think we can say that every evening at 8, here, the news, we say good evening. Every evening at 8, we say good evening. But then we prove to you for an hour why it's not a good one. Just imagine, okay? Erev Tov. But then all you see is ra, ra, ra. And this bias, it's a problem. When you're there, okay? South Africa, and you see what's going on in Israel, sometimes it's not balanced. So first of all, you're all welcome, invited, come and see, okay? In your own eyes. But you must ask yourself, who's telling me the story? What's the story? What's going on here? Okay, what's the big story? It's not the daily push notification. It's the wider, bigger picture. And the bigger picture is we are reminded of who we are. I want to show you just a few examples. First of all, introducing myself. Here's a picture of me. Let's see. That's me. Yeah. As a young girl, interviewing the Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. Yeah, looks like me, right? Sunflowers were very trendy back then. And what you see here, it's basically my childhood. So when I speak to you, I'm not a Rebbitzin. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm a journalist. That's what I do. Since I was 7 or 8, you see me there live on Israeli TV, the Dan Shilon show. Since I was 7, I'm interviewing people. You see me here interviewing Yitzhak Rabin of blessed memory. A week later, I interviewed Shimon Peres of blessed memory. Shimon Peres. A week later, I interviewed the Power Rangers. They came to Israel. Also of blessed memory. I think they're not with us anymore. That was my childhood. That's my story. So for years, I cover Jewish, I would say Israeli reality. What's going on? Basically, for you, I think, I'm here. First of all, I want to share. I want to tell you that the real news, okay? As an expert, that's what I do. The real news is never, the headlines. What you hear is usually okay. It's a political thing. It's the daily storm. So usually it's, now we have elections, but sometimes it's the Haredi world, the settlers, the settlements, Netanyahu, Sarah Netanyahu, Bibi, to Bibi or not to Bibi. It's the Supreme Court. It's by the way, I do not, I don't want to, I have my agenda. I think, first of all, it's important. Political opinions are important. And I have my agenda. I have my opinions. I'm sure you have yours. I have mine. I'm right, by the way. But what can I tell you? You have your opinions. I know I'm right. But it's not about politics. It's something much deeper. I think we all heard this wake-up call. 6/29, October 7th, it was a global Jewish wake-up call. And wherever you look, once again, as a journalist, covering Israeli world the Jewish world for years, decades, basically. I'm 40 plus. I started at the age of 7, okay? I seriously think that's the main, I would say, process right now. The fact you came tonight, it is all connected. I'm sure you see it wherever you go. People are more connected. They want to do more. They want to be more engaged, and they feel that it's part of their, I would say, part of our mutual shlichut, I would say, mission. And that's the reason I want to show you another photo, another picture. Here it is. Maybe you've heard of this event. Wait a minute. And I'm talking about this mega, I would say. It's not a demonstration. It was more like a event of prayer. Here it is. You see it? Do you see it from Yerushalayim to Cape Town? Here it is. Here it is. 300,000 Jews. 300,000 coming to Washington, D.C. People that were there, I interviewed them, they told me, first of all, it's the biggest event, but it's not just the amount of people. I think it's the message. Why? What made their, what happened? Why did they come? Maybe, now I see you can definitely text and write things and respond. The chat is active. Here I am. Shalom. Can you see it? So those who are with us, 60 plus, I see women are with us Zoom live, and those who are at the theater, you cannot respond. But you tell me, okay, why did they come? What you see here, that's once again, it's the same story. The fact you came tonight. Sapir and Sasha got married. The fact 300,000 Jews all left, their house, their cozy home Sunday morning and came. So why did they come? Yeah. You can definitely give, your thoughts, your answers. Why do you think they all, made this effort, time, energy, money, going out, traffic jams, coming to, they flew from all over, I would say, North America, including Canada, Florida, California. They all came. Why? So first of all, you can give me your answers in Hebrew and English here, but I think the main reason is, and I want to use a word I heard from there was a delegation coming to Israel a few months ago. I met them here in Yerushalayim, Machne Yehuda market. It's a very holy place, Shukonat Machne Yehuda. At the end of their trip to Israel, they came to support, donate, and I asked them, how was it? In one word. And one of the ladies said, in one word, she said, clarity. Clarity means behirut. Clarity means Jewish clarity, moral clarity. And it means that things are clear. You understand, you see right from wrong. You understand clarity means you know who you are. And I think you all feel it. When you're there, if you're here tonight, for sure you feel this clarity. So 300,000 Jews felt this, and I'm sure that's what you feel, inside your heart. Maybe you don't have the right words, definition, the way to explain it. Sometimes we cannot explain it to ourselves, but that's what we feel. Pride, identity, connection, clarity, heritage, all those words. It's not just Hamas and Hezbollah. It's also our response to, I think, the AI era, the digital period, the social media, I would say, revolution. You want to be, you can for sure stay at home. No, you want to be together. You want to get a Jewish hug from your friend. You want to see Mazi. You want to be together. That's amazing. It means the world. Here, Natalie Barron says solidarity. Solidarity, for sure. That's the word. Solidariut, in Hebrew, it's also arevut. Arvut adadit. I prefer the Hebrew word arvut. Arvut, it also comes from the word arev, which is sweet. Ta'im, sweet, tasty. Matok. Being together, solidarity is also sweet. You feel something when you're together. Now, what do we do? How do we move forward from this amazing, event, and from the things we all felt? Soon we're gonna commemorate. We're gonna say that it's the third anniversary already. The third Yortzeit. 3 years. So what? Now what? We all had those moments of clarity. Those, in slang. I just spoke at an American high school. And they asked me, what was your aha moment when you became religious? I became religious. But I'm not familiar with this phrase. It's like a slang. Aha moment. I don't know. I'm not so cool. But we all had those aha moments, right? Wow, now I understand right from wrong. I'm Jewish. And you see ultimate evil. And you know that they represent evil. And we should be more united and have more Jewish identity and become one and come back to our heritage and roots. And you understand. Now what? It's been 3 years. That's why when Mazi asked me to speak, I immediately said yes. I think it's amazing you still come. It's not just, okay, the first, response. It's much more. But now what? What do we do? If you're here tonight, and maybe you didn't plan, I don't know, maybe you didn't plan. If you're here tonight, I want to tell you something. Maybe it's the first time you hear this definition. Mazi told me we have women who are chiloni, secular, not that they keep this, they do not keep this. We have all types of women. I don't care. You came tonight, okay? You can't regret it. You're there. And if you're there, it means, okay, listen carefully. If you're there, it means that you are leaders. Leaders. Shlichot. You have your mission. You have your role. And if you're there, you represent something that is bigger than you. You all know we have, I think, more than 100 women, right? I say 64 on Zoom, plus the theater. I don't know. Mazi is sending me all kinds of videos. I'm looking at the, let's see. Yeah. Okay, I want to show you what she's sending me. Look at you. Okay, that's the theater. Okay, you look good. Okay, I see dozens of women, ladies listening to me. Okay, amazing. So, it's not just 100 women listening to an Israeli journalist. It's every meeting now, every conference now is a conference of leaders. And if you're here, it means you're ambassadors. It means you know what's going on, you care, you want to do more, you want to be together. I'm sure you have altogether thousands of women around you, different circles. You all know women who are not so affiliated, not so connected. They're not with us. They're not, part of the story. Okay, you are there, shlichot. You are there, rebbitzins. Even if you're not a rabbanit, it's okay. I'm not a rabbanit too, by the way. I'm a journalist. But we must take responsibility. What they did to us, I think that's, once again, it's a wake-up call of who we are. And I think one of the role models really reminding us this role is the Lubavitcher Rebbe. He treated each Jew, even non-Jews, as a shaliach, as someone who has an amazing mission. And no one can replace him. Because the ladies and you're going to bring them to the next meeting. Next meeting, you'll have hundreds of women. This theater will be too small. It's a little place. You have so many ladies in Cape Town, Johannesburg, other small communities, not the big empires of identity. So who's taking care of them? You. I want to show you this example. I've mentioned Lubavitcher Rebbe. He once asked, what's going on here? Are you familiar with this list? This list it was printed before the Holocaust, okay? It's not just October 7th, okay? We're here for thousands of years. I mentioned Tisha B'Av, okay? Our story is much bigger and wider and longer. It's not just those 3 years. So what you see here, this document was printed before the Holocaust. There was a conference called 1Z Conference, in Hebrew, Ve'idat Vanza. It was a place, I think next to Berlin, where the Germans sat down before the Holocaust and prepared, writing down a whole list of all the Jews in the world. And they were all part of this plan called the final solution, a Pitaron HaSofi, in order to eliminate, delete everyone. So this list basically shows, represents the big communities of Poland and Russia, Ukraine. You see the numbers, okay? German. But look at, I've circled this number. Do you see it? 200. Here, you can see it here. 200. 200 Jews in Albania. Now, how come Hitler can't sleep at night as long as there are 200 Jews still alive in Albania? That's a very deep question. I've mentioned ultimate evil in our generation, the Chol Dor Vador. But previous generation, okay? The Nazi regime. It's not Hamas, it was Hitler. What's wrong with us, okay? What's wrong with the world, okay? As long as you still have this tiny Jewish community of 200 Jews in Albania. I think the answer is, that's what the Lubavitcher Rebbe said. I think that we can all understand that ultimate evil understands. They understand Hitler, Himmler, when they prepare this list, they understand as long as there are 200 Jews alive in Albania, there's hope in this world. There's holiness, kedusha. There's optimism. There's still Torah, mitzvot, commandments, connection. There's still divine presence in this world. And we, as the Germans, also Sinwar, that was his goal. No, this is our, that's our enemy. So what's the message for us? Just to be depressed? Okay, they want to kill us back then and now, and even 200 Jews are an enemy? No. The message is, if they had the time and energy and efforts, it's very expensive creating this system just to eliminate 200 Jews. You have to send ships and trains and, just in order to kill them. It's very expensive. Why do you do it? It's hard for this. We should learn from them and do the opposite. If they will do anything in order to kill them, we will do anything in order to revive them and hug them and make them more alive and more connected and love them. If they hate them so much, we should love them so much. You are privileged. You have so many Jews around you that are not connected. They are your Albanian Jews. You have those 200, sometimes you have 20 people, 2 people in one city. They're tiny communities today. And, galut, sometimes you have in exile Jews that are so far away. They're not. We should be there for them and create, I would say, the opposite of this equation. In our generation, this is our mission of love and connection. And if you're here tonight, that's your goal. You should be part of it because you are so connected. And I think that's, once again, when you go out there to wherever you go, okay, it's part of your, look at it as part of what you are supposed to bring into this world. And once again, what do you tell them? What's so special? What are they supposed to do? Maybe pride is enough. Maybe I would say solidarity is enough. No, emotions are not enough. Once again, I really appreciate the fact you physically came. I want to show you something, because once again, it's not just Hamas. The AI revolution is also, I would say, a threat or a challenge. It's also an opportunity. When we look at the world in 2-3 years, or maybe in 2-3 months, because it's happening so fast. The speed, it's this revolution. Every day you have new things coming up, and you're not, if you just take a day off, so you're out. You know nothing about what's going on. So the examples you see here, I believe, are part of our revolutionary response to what's going on. By the way, speaking of South Africa, your rabbi, Rabbi Goldstein, such really an amazing example here. I have his book right here, Chief Rabbi, here. Harav Dr. Ze'ev Warren Goldstein, Harav Arashi של Drom Africa, A Day to Create Yourself. I'm sure you're all familiar with this book, it's not just the book, it's the initiative, the creativity, the project. He came here to Yerushalayim, Yeshivat HaKotel, learning Torah, going back, and creating this amazing worldwide international project, Shabbat International, once a year. For sure, we want to do it every week. But when I met him, he also told me that we need physical things in this world. It's not just your beliefs. Don't tell me, I believe, I think, I want. It's very nice. Tell me, tachlis, that's in Yiddish. You know what is tachlis? Practical. What do you do? Don't tell me about your beliefs. Tell me about your acts, your deeds. You have the physical things you do on a daily basis. And what this presentation, what you see, the pictures here, may seem like something from kindergarten, that's it. And okay, these are ancient things. No. What you see here is here as I speak. By the way, as I'm speaking, I'm distracted because of WhatsApp messages. So you keep, you're focused. You have those push notifications and the distractions, and you're connected, 24/6, not 24/7. But AI seriously can do anything, almost anything. Think about it. I think it writes better posts, even better Sivan Rahav Meir posts. When after learning my style, it writes faster and smarter than me. Sometimes I'm impressed. Wow, what a chizuk. It's me. No, it's him. No, what is it? It's not we all understand it's not a regular Google, and it's not another app. It's a revolution. Something's going on here. Okay, artificial intelligence. It's something. So what stays natural, not artificial? Okay, look at the world around you and tell me. I think the real conclusion is, after thinking, I think about it a lot. As a journalist, I feel sometimes less relevant, editing, writing, doing things, creating content, recording podcasts. It does everything. When it comes to my house, from, we call it in Hebrew, Bait Chacham, smart house. You know what it is? Everything is digital. Everything is connected. It's all robots speaking to one another. The refrigerator speaks to the, I don't know, microwave, dishwasher, laundry machine, electricity, air conditioning. They're all connected. They don't need me. They're so smart. They do everything. Bait Chacham, smart house. But it's our responsibility to make our Bait Chacham into a Bait Kadosh. Smart house into a holy house. That's your mission. Once again, that's the fact you came. Physical things, being together. And what you see here, those examples, are going to be the most revolutionary things in the world. Seriously. It's not just, oh, yeah, my grandmother used to have a sukkah. No. Building a sukkah, and I know it's challenging in Cape Town, building a sukkah becomes something revolutionary. You take something physical and do it. You perform a mitzvah, a commandment. Eating the matzah. Once again, AI can write a book about eating matzah better than me. It's very inspiring. And it can remind us how much, the portion, kamut of matzah, how much and when do you eat it? Okay, it can remind me to light Shabbat candles and buy the candles and bring the oil and explain the whole concept of Shabbat candles. It cannot replace me when it comes to really doing the mitzvah and connecting me and God. We are not influenced by AI. Mitzvah comes from the word tzivui, commandment. When you say in Hebrew metzaveh, tzav, letzavot, mitzvah, commandment, I tell you, you should obey the commandment. It's a tzivui. But mitzvah in Hebrew also comes from the word tzavta, tzevet, together. Together means you're a team. Hashem and you, God and you are tzavta, mitzvah, you are his partner. You are part of his team. He needs you. You are created in order to help him. Yeah, he needs you in this world in order to do things that brings divine presence into this world, into exile, into this world, this physical world that is imperfect. But when you eat a matzah and when you bless, you take the matzah, you take the candle, you take the tefillin, you take the sukkah, you take the Hanukkah, the menorah, and you connect it to its source, you're doing something that is irreplaceable. It's just you and him and the holiness you bring into this world. And that's not just an important thing. I think it becomes the only thing that AI cannot do. And you are the only one able, capable, and it's your responsibility to do it and to spread more light and make more women do it. And think of this amazing fact. If someone this Friday will light Shabbat candles, thanks to you, before Shabbos, you will create, I would say, a light in this world. It's only she can light this light. Only you can create it. Just you. Okay? No AI. No copy paste. No one can do it. Just you. So basically thinking of, and that's why I'm really so thrilled about this Shabbat project. It started, once again, in South Africa, and it's everywhere. It means, and it started before October 7th. Today it's even more popular. Why? Once again, it's the physical a part of your life. I want to add one more thing. Maybe if you have questions, it's an opportunity to, text or write or even ask. But I want to add one more thing. Sometimes we speak as, wait a minute, I just said that it's the only thing I can do, so now I'm going to do something that is irreplaceable. It's only me can do. Okay, the water, you see the bottle here? So you can buy it for me. And the temperature, AI can make sure the temperature is the best, what I like. And if we're out of water, so it will buy 2 more bottles and bring it here and pay and put it, in, I don't know, buy the refrigerator and bring it to me with small, tiny robots. It can do everything. And even pour it. Sorry, I'm an Israeli. I'm not so, polite, but it pour water into a glass and give it to me. And remind me, oh, you're a bit hoarse. You're speaking to you're far away in Cape Town, so you're speaking so loud in Yerushalayim. You should drink. Like, send me like a reminder, like a note. It can do anything, but it cannot. Look at this bottle and connect it to its source and thank God for creating this, creating my ability to drink and the thirst, creating our needs. Our needs are holy, okay? Because that's once again, it's the connection with Him. And here is something. It's just me, okay? AI can write a beautiful booklet about brachot, hilchot brachot. How do you bless? When do you bless? Why do you bless? Explaining each word. But it cannot do what I'm about to do right now, okay? Pay attention. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. לחיים. לחיים ירושלים. So, I hear you're a man. So, what I wanted to add, because we mentioned Shabbat and we mentioned this amazing Shabbat project, Rabbi Goldstein's changing the world. Think of the potential. We can have so many projects, coming up. I want to maybe recommend 2, I would say, tips, 2 tools, two things that out of my experience, they helped me. I grew up here in Israel, completely, I would say, unaffiliated, what we call Chiloni. And what started my journey, and we promised, I don't want to, we say, I don't want you to think that I also create fake news. We said 3 tools that will make you happy, right? So the first one is, here it is. I'm doing it as a list. The first one is connecting yourself to the bigger story. We started with Sasha and Sapir. You're all writing a book together. Everything you do, that's the first tool, okay? When you understand the importance of what you do, even as a young Jewish mother with your baby, it's not just a personal thing, what you do. And I know mothers, when my kids were like babies, it's really challenging. It's not easy because everything is digital, everything is available, everything is accessible, except for your child. Just make him eat something or go to sleep or take a shower. I don't have this patience when everything is tick, clack, click, look, Twitter, Instagram, my followers, everything is very clean and very easy and very available, accessible. And here he is at the age of 2, making me crazy sometimes. So that's a challenge. And everything you do is connected to the bigger challenge. So that's maybe tool number 1, what we just said. Maybe I'll give you, we've mentioned Rabbi Goldstein, I'll mention a different Jewish leader, Rabbi Professor Lord Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory, the chief rabbi of Great Britain. I was also privileged to work with him, and we had a few projects together, and I heard the most beautiful story about Jewish motivation. He once shared a beautiful story with me, and I'm going to give this story to you, to every Jewish thing you do, okay? Take it with you. Once again, rule number 1, you're part of something big, something amazing, so large and so meaningful. And here's the story. He said, imagine 3 workers working in a very hot day, okay, sweating, carving stones. They all, carving stones, it's very heavy. And in Hebrew, lachtzov avanim. And someone is, passed by and asked the 3 workers, what do you do? What are you doing? The first one said, I'm carving stones. That's a very technical answer. Copy paste, okay, like a robot. That's what you do. In Hebrew, we call it rosh katan, Israeliot. Okay, I'm carving stones. The second one said, I'm getting paid. I'm earning money. I'm getting my salary at the end of the month. And he said it with a smile. That's a higher, he sees the result. When you work, you get money, you get paid. Okay, you can buy something. Good, amazing. The third one said, and he said it with a spark in his eye. He said, me? What do I do? I'm building a palace. Ani boneh armon. I'm building a palace. This is an amazing answer. It means you understand the importance of every mitzvah you make, of every good deed, of chesed, of kindness, of charity, tzedakah, every positive, every smile, everything you do. I'm building a palace. That's a higher, the best, And, I keep thinking of this story. Everything you do, changing diapers to your baby, or taking care of your grandchildren, or coming here tonight. You're building a palace. Jewish Torah, shiur, for women from Yerushalayim to Cape Town, we're building a palace. We're creating our, spiritual Iron Dome, the system that protects Israel's skies, a Kippat Barzel. So you're contributing, you're giving us part of this. Yeah, you're building a palace. So that's maybe tool number one, okay? Becoming happier. When you understand the importance and that you're meaningful and you feel meaningful, that's the first thing. And I think that we mentioned the AI era, okay, the new revolution, especially now. I think you can really understand your contribution, okay? Everything you do. We mentioned halacha becomes something so important, the most important. That's your tzelem Elokim, that's your image of God when you do a mitzvah, when you do something. The second thing, and I've mentioned the Shabbat project. I want you to look carefully, because I really believe this amazing picture really, I think, represents something, okay? And even if you do not understand Hebrew, you can read this. You see the big word ken, right? But it is created out of the lo. Okay. You can count and see that we have 39, 39 laws, okay? It appears, the word law, 39 times. Why 39? When you learn the laws, the rules of Shabbat, Hilchot Shabbat, you see that there are 39 things that you cannot do, that you're not supposed to do. It's called in the Hebrew, Lamed Tet Melachot. Lamed is 30, Tet represents Teisha, 9, Shloshim, Teisha, Lamed Tet, 39. Hilchot Shabbat, Avot Melacha, it's called in Hebrew. Okay? I'm not an expert. I told you I'm not an Rebbetzin, but understand these are the basic laws of Shabbat. The things that are forbidden, we do not do them. So when you start keeping Shabbat, and it happened to me when I was a teenager, I told you, I was born and raised here in Israel, 7th generation Israeli, but unfortunately not so connected to my heritage, to Shabbat. And when I started keeping Shabbat at the age of 15 or 16, Baruch Hashem, I was privileged to discover that at the beginning it looks like lo. And when you zoom out from a wider perspective, from a bird's eye view, you see that you're not limited. That the small law, it's the only way to create a ken. And if you do not have law in your life, you don't have a ken. If you have no borders, no restrictions, as a Jew, sometimes I meet Jews all over the world, so many communities. Sometimes, unfortunately, all they say is, yeah, I love Pesach. I love, I don't know, Tikkun Olam, okay? Sometimes I just want to ask them, what is your law? Do you have a law? As a Jew, is there something you don't eat, you don't do on Shabbat, on weekdays? Okay, I don't do this. I don't go out here. I don't drink this. I don't eat this. What is your law? You're not limited. It's the only way to create freedom. It's true when it comes to Shabbat, but wherever you are, once again, in the digital era, your human restrictions, your laws, when you create your law as a Jewish mother, as a Jewish woman, what is your law? When do you say law? In your kitchen, in your living room, your, I don't know, cell phone, smartphone, with your kids on Shabbat. What is your law? And adding more law into your life. I know it sounds, oh, no, this journalist from Israel, it's so depressive. She's so negative. That's what she wants. This is the way she promised to discuss happiness. That's the way to reach happiness? Yes. If you want to reach yes, you must find your law. By the way, it's also the best tool if you're on a diet, okay? Say law to the small temptations, sugar, all kinds of pizza, pasta, etc., and you reach the final the final result, Bezrat Hashem. That's also a holy mission. So that's my second, I would say, it's not a tool, it's more like, I think it's a guidance to all of us. Shabbat, and not just Shabbat. Add law into your life. And the third, I would say, thing I want to share, and that will be our last message, and maybe I will leave you there with open questions to you. I imagine ladies staying at the theater and discussing the things we said. You can share with each other. Okay, what is your law? What is your law in order to reach a ken? What's the ken you want to reach? How do you become a leader? How do you bring another Jewish lady with you? Next year, you're going to have a better speaker. I know Mazi will find someone even better than me. And who's going to, you're going to come with a friend. And she's going to meet new Jewish friends, okay? Maybe you will ask her to come for Shabbat, okay? I'm sure, to your house. Once again, you don't have to be perfect. We're not perfect. You don't have to be a rebbitzin. You don't have to be an official rabbi, chief rabbi. No, you're a leader, wherever you are. Okay, here's the third tool I want to show you. 1 minute. Here it is. Okay. I think daily learning must become something that is part of our routine. Since, time management became so popular, so hard and so popular and so challenging, I really encourage people. I became religious when I was 15, 16. I started keeping Shabbat, Kashrut, Baruch Hashem, other mitzvot. I got married. My husband, Yedidia, is also a journalist. And we're both here. We live in Yerushalayim. We have 5 kids. And what I discovered is, and that's a very, I would say, depressing a result. If you do not learn, you do not learn, okay? If you don't decide to make it part of your schedule, I have my daily things. I learned the daily Tehillim, the daily hears. I have this booklet, but you can choose your daily. I want to ask you, what's your daily? Add something stable into your life. I think it's the only way today, when the world is so really, sometimes it's, I don't know, upside down. So many things are happening, and so many, every morning you wake up and there's so many things going on, not just as a journalist. Today, we're all journalists. We all create content. We have hundreds of WhatsApp groups and all kinds of apps and notifications, and news and fake news and funny things and sad, depressing things, all kinds of, things going on. I think we should create stability. We should create our daily. I have my daily for a few years. It really, really changes my life. Really. My daily, it's just 5 minutes, okay? A day. That's it, 5 minutes a day. So what's it? So it's nothing? It's the world. It affects, I think, 24 hours. You learn for I would say 5 minutes, and it influences 24 hours. Seriously. So I encourage you to try and find your daily, and you'll thank me in a month. If you say a few chapters of Tehillim, there's the daily Tehillim. If you say a few chapters, prakim, capitals of Tehillim every day, you finish the whole book of Tehillim of King David once a month. That's amazing. Once again, I'm not a Rebbitzin. It's not me. I'm a career woman. It's me. It's possible. And if you just say the daily parsha, daily portion, wow, amazing. You can finish the whole Tanakh, and you can really bring good content into your daily routine, And it's amazing to see the results. A Jewish mother that learns 3 minutes a day, it's different. The kids, the husband, they all become different. It's like a miracle. Try. Okay. I want to send you, wait a minute, a link. If you want to receive the content I send every day, speaking of daily, so there's something called the daily portion, the daily WhatsApp. You can join, subscribe for free. Here you have this link for our group in English. We have it in other languages too, but here is the link to the English group. I can send Mazi the information later. She can spread the word with Hebrew and English, and you're all welcome, and you can join us and get a daily message from Yerushalayim. So if you liked what we just said, you can have more of this content on a daily basis every morning. I want to thank you once again. I tried to summarize everything, okay? We discussed the bigger story. We said the news, what you get from Israel, it's not about political events and different sectors and conflicts. You influence the news. If you're more connected, that's the main headline. If Jews in South Africa, they start being more connected, that's what's really going on. Up there in heaven, that's the main headline, for sure. That's the news item, that's the scoop. You influence reality. It's not what's going on. It's what you decide that's going on, B'ezrat Hashem. So that's one. We come to the digital era. We mentioned Shabbat, law, ken. How can we add more law into our life in order to create more ken, more freedom? And I really encourage you to do something daily, take something daily upon yourself. Toda rabba, thank you very much. Lots of
Sivan, toda rabba.
homework.
Toda rabba,
Do
Sivan.
something and take it with you. Thank you. Toda rabba.
תודה, סיוון, תודה רבה.
Bye bye,
Bye.
Cape Town. Amazing. Thank you very much.